From manifesting to the quadrants, when spiritual growth becomes a reason to leave. 4 years, she was deeply spiritual. Not in the performative Instagram sense, but in the real, private, ritualistic way: vision boards, affirmations, tapping, meditation. She believed in signs, synchronicities, the law of attraction. She'd long since absorbed the idea that you could co-create your reality, as long as your vibration was right. And yet, years into that belief system, she told her boss she wanted to live a more spiritual life. What did she mean, exactly? It wasn't about returning to source, or finding God. It was about leaving the man who loved her, walking away from a 25-year marriage, and beginning a new life that felt, in her words, more aligned. That's not spirituality. That's ideological rebranding. Wilber enters the chat. Somewhere along the way, she discovered Ken Wilber, philosopher, theorist, prolific spiritual framework builder. Probably in alignment with Claire Zammit, who writes for Integral Life, a website co-founded by Wilber in 2009. Wilber's work blends psychology, spirituality, and systems theory into a unified model of personal evolution. He's known for his obsession with developmental stages, and his tendency to follow gurus until they let him down. Claire Zammit has shared the stage with so many others who live in the pseudoscience spiritual space as well: Elizabeth Gilbert, Breen Brown, Eve Ensler, Alanis Morissette, Marianne Williamson, Marcia Shimoff, Neil Donald Walsh, Gabrielle Bernstein and Lisa Nichols, Jack Canfield and Deepak Chopra. And when she entered a workplace coaching program built on Wilber's integral theory, run by a company that had trademarked the term Integral Plus, it gave her a new spiritual vocabulary. No longer was she just manifesting. She was ascending stages, transcending limiting beliefs, moving through quadrants. Suddenly, she wasn't just a woman trying to figure things out, she was a seeker on a path to self-actualization. The ideology that gave her permission. Integral theory taught her that everyone develops through stages, from dependent to independent to integrated. From pre-conventional to post-conventional. From conformist to autonomous. And so, even if the marriage was stable, loving, or rooted in shared history, it could now be reinterpreted through a developmental lens. If I stay, I stagnate. If I leave, I evolve. And just like that, the relationship became a lower stage reality. Something to transcend. Not with anger, not with blame, but with purposeful detachment. That's the most insidious part. It didn't feel like betrayal to her, it felt like growth. From love to alignment. When you believe that life is about vibration, energy, and alignment, it becomes dangerously easy to recast love as misalignment. That's what happened. I didn't share her beliefs. I wasn't into woo-woo science. I didn't buy into vibrational theory, or energy medicine, or the need to move through the quadrants to realize our deepest potential. She needed someone who fit her new self-definition. Someone who believed in energy. In self-leadership. In integral. And that someone wasn't me. So when the marriage ended, it wasn't framed as heartbreak. It was framed as a necessary shedding, so she could test her independence in the real world. Which is just another way of saying, you were no longer part of the narrative. When ideology hijacks identity. This isn't just a personal story. It's a cautionary tale about what happens when belief systems, even the intellectual ones like Wilber's, are absorbed into the bloodstream of self-help culture. They don't just sit on a bookshelf. They get turned into justifications. They offer a script for detachment. They recode empathy as emotional indulgence. They make growth sound like leaving, and spiritual progress sound like abandonment. And in the end, what she called alignment, I lived as erasure.